Hey guys, in today's video, I think you guys are going to enjoy it, especially if you're a buyer that is looking to pick something up in today's market. And if anybody who's been active in today's market, you know from 2020, end of 2020, right now to the beginning of 2021, it's been absolute out of control. We've seen prices increase in some areas from 20, 25, even 30%. We've been struggling for a lot of our clients to find them lots to do builds. There's been absolutely no inventory and everybody's holding offers. So how is it in today's market we're able to secure properties for our clients at still favorable pricing and actually do it with more confidence than we would have when the prices were 20% less? And in this video, you're gonna see exactly how we did that. Welcome back to the Furtado Group. I'm Ruben Furtado, and today we're going to be meeting with a client who purchased a property unseen in Oakville by the Bronte Marina. And we did that because he wasn't available to come out to the house right away. So I quickly went out to the house the first day it got listed, FaceTimed him from the house, and I was really excited about it. And we're going to show you why, because we're going to meet him at the property and we're going to talk about the concept of what we're going to be doing with this home, the type of house we're going to be building. We're also going to share with you how we secured that property, right? Because in a market like today, we would be competing against multiple offers. Well, we didn't have to do that in this situation. But on the way there, we do a quick pit stop because I wanted to take you on another lot that we just purchased. And it was a lot that was holding offers, but we put a bully offer in and we were able to secure that property. However, here's the interesting part. The clients who just bought that lot right now in February, on that same street, back in November of last year, they had an opportunity to buy a house that was, and you're gonna see that house because you're gonna see it here on the clips. This tiny little bungalow was one house in from a busy street, so you get a lot of noise pollution, but it was still a really good location because you were within walking distance to the downtown Oakville. And this house, here's the interesting thing. It was listed at just under $1 million, $999,000. They were holding offers. And based on what the sales were, we felt that what we were comfortable with was $1.05 million, because remember, the market hadn't blown up yet. And my clients, they were willing to go the $1.05 million. Unfortunately, the sellers wanted no less than $1.08 million, so we didn't get it. The sellers then go list at $1 million. Again, they relist it, and they end up selling it at $1.09 million. So we missed that opportunity, and we were okay because we were only prepared to pay $1.05 million. But here's what happens. That was in November. No inventory after that point. We're waiting for something to come out. Now something comes out in February, and prices have now gone from that $1.1 million to $1.3 million. $200,000 more. And my clients were struggling to basically adjust to that because they literally just missed out on an opportunity for $200,000 less on the same street. And this is what I shared with them that made them feel a bit more comfortable with this purchase. It was this. We are in a better situation buying the lot today at $1.3 million than we would have been buying that other lot at the $1.08 million. Why? Because it sounds like it's a sales pitch, but it's not. When the lot sold at $1.08 million, there was no sales supporting a turnkey custom luxury home in that area that would have been more than 2.5 or 2.6 million. But today, in today's market, the finished product, we just saw one right around the corner that sold at $3,075,000. That's almost $400,000 more as a finished house. So today, once we bought this as an investment, once we build on it, yes, we're paying $200,000 more on the land, but on the resale value of the house when it's finished and it's built, it's $400,000 more. And there's more activity on those sales, which there wasn't before. So there's more confidence now. And then the other thing is the interest rates are lower. So all in all, when people are looking at it, they're always looking at the negative, and I think you need to look at both sides. But that was why we passed by, and you're gonna see the images of both properties that we were looking at, the one that we missed and the one that we picked up. So one last thing before we go meet up with the client. On that one property that we did secure, they were holding offers. And within a couple of days of it being listed, we were able to avoid that multiple offer situation. We put together a very decent bully offer that was not over market value based on what everything else was selling for, but it was something that had terms, and we used certain clauses that are very favorable to the sellers, but that work for our buyers. And that helped us build a relationship and have them look at our offer and consider it to where we got to a price point that was agreeable to both my buyer as well as the seller, and avoiding a lot of competition and inflating the price up even more. Okay, I'm just around the corner. I'll be there in like less than 1 minute. They are there. They know that we're going to be coming through, so they're okay with it. house. Remember, the client's never seen the property. This is the first time they're physically at this home. The nice thing too is we did not have an appointment to go through the house. I ended up calling the listing agents, just letting him know I was going to do a drive-by. He called the seller. The seller happened to be outside, super nice gentleman, and led us to go through the house. And one of the reasons why we like this property is that it actually it was in really good condition. It was a bit dated, but in very good condition. And it had a second suite on the second floor. So for rentability, you could have been renting the upstairs and renting as an in-law suite and then renting the main floor. And that's a really nice thing to have, because if at the end of the day we were to change our strategy and not build right away, we can still generate some pretty good income rather than a lot of these other properties that are teardowns that are really not rentable. Now, a lot of people avoid a corner lot. So one of the things I wanted to do in getting the client out was not just showing him what he bought, but showing him the potential it had. So just down the street, we then go for a walk just a little bit further. And then here's the irony. I actually lived on this street. I lived on the house that was just next to one that was built on the corner. And that's where I kind of had the vision of what we were going to do here to some degree, but really just take it to the next level. So then we went for a drive in another area where we were looking at some other houses that I've always been a fan of. Now, they were on some bigger lots. They were on like a 75 by 150 lot. But here is a really good example of what we were looking at doing, which was going to be the garage was going to be off the shorter part of the lot on the 60-foot side. And then on the longer side would be the entrance. And on that side entrance, on the corner side of the house, is where we're going to make it look really grand, right? Give it a real strong presence. And then that way we still have a really large backyard, but the backyard's not near the street side. It's tucked more into the corner, backing on to the other house just behind it. Even though we had a clear vision of what we were going to design and build and the layout, that was not justification to actually buy this property, nor should it be. Instead, what we want is understand what the risk is associated and what the opportunity is with this particular project. And one thing we knew for a fact was that earlier, just weeks earlier, on a busier street, a property sold for over 1.3 million, and it was a smaller lot. So we knew that this house being a bigger lot, a bigger house, and the fact that we could rent it if we decided not to build something was a far better opportunity on its own. But more importantly is, what would a finished house based on this concept that we had, what would that be worth in that area? Well, houses in that area already supported a sales price of over 3.3 million. So we were very confident that if we were to build the right house with the right quality and the right sales strategy, that we should be getting very close to 3 million, at least no less than that. So that's what gave the buyer confidence and us confidence to move forward. And then the other thing too, though, keep in mind, this house got listed, I think it was Thursday. One of the things that we did is avoid it from even being able to hit the market on the Saturday and Sunday. So we actually tied up and got this deal done literally on Friday night. And I thought that was really important to make this all happen for this particular client. But there are going to be some folks that are like, hey, that makes sense for Oakville, and I just want to put some context around it. It doesn't matter whether it's Oakville or whatever area it is. The principles are going to be exactly the same. But if there's one other bonus tip that I can give you, is that in a market where people are now just wanting to jump in because they see prices escalating and they're buying anything that they can get at a deal, be very cautious. Because a deal today will be very similar to the first property that I told you about, where those people bought it in 2017 and they paid $1,150,000, and 3 years later they only sold it for $1,190,000 and lost money. It's because all they were doing was basically out of fear they bought something. Where what we're buying is not out of fear, it's out of strategy. You want to buy something that it's not a deal, it's going to be a home in any market that is going to be something that is desirable and easily marketable, and that you're going to make some money. So until next time, guys, take care.